I had it written down in my notes, and something that crossed my mind that I wanted to go over. Something that I've always operated this way, but then I'm like, why do I operate this way? I was praying and I asked God. I was like, God, why is it that people go through things and people go through things, not in a sense like bad people or whatever. It's just, how do I explain it? When you operate from a good place, right? From a good place, and people operate maliciously, why does it look like, or why is it that they are thriving, they're winning in life, they're doing everything, and you run to God, you're doing all the right things, and everything seems like it's just out of whack for you, right? Nothing's going in your favor, nothing's working. People are thriving, right? Living their best life, they're happy, and you're there like a piece of shit. You're suffering, you're struggling, right? And it came to me, two things. If you're a person with a growth mindset and you're always growing, you win. You're always going to win long term. Things that are hard now will make it easier and better in the future. Things that are easy now will make it harder for you in the future. Simple as that. And you have to remind yourself, because the thing is like, God works best through pain and circumstances. And I wanted to touch on this. This is the topic of the video. Numbing keeps you from becoming the man that God wants you to be, the man that you can become through the pain and the transformation that pain can bring you through. Okay? God is close to the brokenhearted. And brokenhearted, I don't just mean relationships. I mean like brokenhearted. That's in all aspects. If you're grieving someone that passed away, if you're losing whatever, breaking your spirit, breaking your whatever it is, it resulted in a broken heart. You can break your own heart. God is close to those. If you give your pain to God, He can pick up the pieces and do something great with it, right? But when you choose to numb yourself and you choose to let the pain just go to waste, instead of using it to fuel you for transformation, for growth, you went through it for no reason. Anytime I have gone through a painful situation in my life, if you look at anybody, if you look up documentaries or biographies, a lot of the most successful people had the hardest lives. They went through traumatic experiences. They went through tough circumstances, and it made them better. They grew from it. From their pain came purpose. Don't allow your pain to go to waste. Trying to numb it with alcohol, with sex, with pornography, smoking weed, with just distractions. Like, bro, face your pain. Face your pain. If you deal with depression, if you deal with anxiety, suicide, right? Get some help with that, right? Get some help if you need to learn how to process your emotions, right? Because it can be tough, especially if those are pre-existing. The thing is, those people tend to people that have that kind of life. I'm not gonna label anybody, but they tend to struggle more with processing emotions, processing traumas, and their thoughts and feelings. And they're more prone to escaping and running through these things as a coping mechanism, right? Now, you can think through them, you can process through them, and you only process it moment by moment. Like, let yourself feel it for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. Feel it, cry, get angry, yell, whatever it is that you gotta do. Go to prayer, whatever it is that you need to do. Purge it little by little. Just purge yourself. You don't gotta take it all in at once and feel the emotions like crazy, because that can have you spiraling out of control, and we don't want that. Again, you want to be controlled and sober-minded. Now, we're all human. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to not feel 100%. It's okay that when life hits you, you fucking break. Like, that's normal. You know, the beautiful things about pain, it's called, I call it, well, yeah, it's a thing, growing pains. Growth is painful. When you're in the gym, it's painful. When you're emotionally growing, it's painful. When you're physically growing, it's painful. When you have things in your life that challenge you and it pains you, you grow from it. You come out on the other side better, you know, smarter, more wise. So if you numb yourself, you rob yourself from a transformation that only that opportunity that you went through, all that suffering, was for. Yes, you're gonna have experiences, you're just gonna learn, you have experience, wisdom that comes from it, but you're gonna have that regardless. You don't want to stroll through something and just have it, you know, kind of just die down, because there's people that they go through situations time and time again. It's like, okay, did you really learn the lesson? Did you really change as a person? Did you really transform, or was it for the time being? You can go through something, numb it out, and then you're good temporarily. You're thinking straight. But the moment that same scenario, circumstances presented in your life again, you fall into the same thing. Why? Because you didn't let it transform you. You truly didn't let it transform you. And I'm not saying you can't have weak moments. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as a person, you know when you change, because your mind is different. Your thinking is different. The way you operate is different. And again, anytime I've had major success in quantum leaps, dude, my business took off. I think it was, let me see. It was probably, I think, 14 to 18 months later, or 12 to 16 months later, from the hardest time in my life. I had a quantum leap. I changed physically, I changed mentally, I changed emotionally. My business popped off, finally took off. I changed financially. That was like the biggest year of my life with business, right? Or when it began. I changed where I lived. I moved out like at 19, 20, right? All of these changes, this entire dynamic of growth, because it was like a growth spurt. It was a growth spurt of like I said, like 14 to 18 months. I grew spiritually. I grew literally in all aspects of my life. Everyone, it like 10x'd. And it was because I allowed the pain to work through me and transform me. I'm a person where if something is happening in my life, if there's a problem, a circumstance, I run head first. I don't run away from problems. I run to them, and I try to fix them. And I do my best to understand what it is that's happening. And I know I use the pain. I'm like, okay, this shit happened. Fucking good. Let's go. Like, okay, I'm getting fucked right now. Let's go. Like, life is difficult right now. Let's go. There's something I need to learn here. There's something that I'm gonna pull from this, and it's going to make me better. It's gonna make me a better leader, a better man, a better son, a better husband, a better boyfriend, a better father, whatever that is, right? For you, you need to have that same thinking. You can't just go through life getting fucking smacked around, taking hit after hit after hit, and not learn the lesson ultimately, or not allow it to change you. Because it's always gonna change you. But when I talk about let it transform you, let it change you, I'm talking about taking a quantum leap. I'm talking about collapsing time. This collapses time. You need to take advantage of the pain. Thank God for the pain. Even though you don't feel it, you don't believe it, say, God, thank you for this pain. Thank you for the challenge. Thank you for the struggle. Just be grateful. Why? Because it's an opportunity to renew your mind, to grow. God works well with your pain. You can either give your pain to God and pour it back into yourself. And let me tell you something. Use the pain, anger, frustration, pain. These are emotions and factors that literally force you and push you to move. They drive you to move. I'll give you this example. Look, when you have a wisdom tooth, right? If you've been trying to do something in your life for like the longest time, and you just got comfortable, you never did it, cool. When you have a wisdom tooth and you just leave it there, you won't be moved. You won't be like antsy to take it out until it starts causing you pain nonstop every single day. Every single day. Every single day. So we're more driven by pain than we are. We're more prone to move when life is painful, when things are painful, on things that we were, let's just say, not moving on before, we were slacking on before, or we just never took that leap of faith before, until the pain came and drove it out of us. It forced us to like, yo, ram through it. You're running through walls. You're in the gym. You're on point. You're focused. You're like in your work. Why did it have to take such a painful experience to go through that? A lot of times people, when shit hits the fan, that's when people lock in. That's when people get serious. The point is, you need to use it. If that happens to you, use it. And then maintain that. But this is another thing. Pain, anger, frustration, great drivers, right? But eventually you need to turn that into love. Love for yourself, love for your life, and love for other people. Because eventually, if you're just always angry all the time, angry, it's okay to be angry. That's human emotion. God made us that way, right? Use the anger. Use it as fuel. Use the pain. It's a beautiful thing. When I tell you it's a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful thing. You will change and you will thank yourself when you use the pain instead of avoiding the pain. Paul talks about having a thorn in his side. That kept him close to God. Me, when I was going through like the most painful situations in my life, it always brought me closer to God, and it strengthened my relationship like that. With myself and with God and with the things that actually mattered, right? So don't see pain as a bad thing. See it as a blessing. Thank God for the pain. Like, yo, use it. Utilize it. Don't waste painful seasons. God doesn't waste a season. God is intentional with everything. He doesn't allow things to go to waste. You can allow things to go to waste. God uses all things for good, right? Romans 8:28. God uses all things for our good, right? Those are called according to, I'm paraphrasing, called according to his purpose, right? But he can use all things, all circumstances. Not some, not financial issues, not relationship issues, not personal issues, not whatever it is. All things. No matter how small, no matter how big, he uses all things for our good, right? It's up to you to learn the lesson. That's up to you to put in the effort and grow from it, right? Like, turn your pain into purpose. Don't just go through a painful season and then, what was me, cry wolf when it's like, fuck, my life is fucked because of this season. Bro, yeah, that was like 2-3 seasons ago. You talking about the pandemic. You talking about shit was fucked in the pandemic. And now you don't have an education or whatever. You were just at home smoking weed or whatever the case is. That's like, you know, it's 2026, right? Or something happened in a relationship. Something happened at work. You got let go of at work. They fired you. You got into an accident, car crash, whatever it is. Like, again, not to minimize whatever situation you're in, just never fall into a victim mindset as a man. Take extreme accountability for shit. Even if it's not your fault, it's your fault. Have that mindset. Always have that mindset. Even if it's not your fault. If somebody hits me right now and like rear ends me, it's my fault. It's really their fault, but it's my fault. If somebody fucks you over in a business, it's their fault, but it's actually my fault, right? Because why didn't I pick up on this before? Why didn't I set certain boundaries as a person? And why didn't I lead better? If somebody cheats on you in a relationship, if somebody divorces you, if somebody leaves you or whatever, or disrespects you, why didn't you set boundaries? Why didn't you lead better? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? If the person is mentally fucked, right, and they're emotionally unstable, it's still your fault. Why did you choose that person? You follow what I'm saying? Everything is your fault as a man, and you should lead life that way, bro. Just don't play the blame game, because you don't get anything. You gain back control of your life and of yourself when you take extreme accountability and you just put that back into you. The moment you point to somebody else, you lost all control. You play the blame game. Oh, it's not me. You never change. You shift the blame to somebody else, and you don't grow. Even if it's not your fault. There's a lot of shit in life as a man, bro, it's not gonna be your fault. But if you take accountability, you move different. You learn from it. When it's not your fault, it's not your, like me, right? I have employees. I've had a lot of employees over the years. I'm around other business owners and I see how they operate. I'll give you an example. If an employee fucks up, right? There's business owners that, okay, this guy's fucking up, he's messing up, we gotta let him go. And the first question to me is like, okay, did he get trained properly? Did you go over this in training? And what they say is like, no, but it's common sense. True, it's common sense. There's a lot of shit that's common sense. But one thing I learned as a leader, you're the head. I can run a team of 20, 25 guys, and if I got guys on a lower level fucking up, it's my fault, because there's a disconnect somewhere along the line where they're doing bad, but they're not doing as great as they can do, but I'm still leading the team. I'm still running the show. I have responsibility and accountability to those guys. So if they fuck up, it's a representation of me. I'm not gonna point the blame. I'm not gonna do the blame game and be like, oh, yo, you fucked up here. Like, what's going on? Did I train them properly? Did I have, like, if it's the first time, like, you don't fire them, because like it depends what it is, right? But majority of the time it's like things that are fixable, right? You can coach these guys. People are coachable, right? If they're coachable, you can work with that. Now, people that are not coachable, you gotta let them go, unfortunately. The point is, if you're always letting people go, you have turnover, whatever that is, the problem is you as a leader. The problem is you as the business owner. You can't think you have no responsibility in that, no accountability in that, because the moment you do, oh, it's the employee's fault. You failed as a business owner, because it's never gonna be your fault. If it's never your fault, if something is recurring where it happens, get a better training, create SOPs. What's the protocols when this shit happens? Okay, it's not common sense. Let's make sure it's common sense to the hires moving forward. Let's go over orientation. Let's do these things to ensure that we're doing our part, that everybody's making their rounds. I do my part, you can do your part. But the thing is, you can't do that. Like, I'm gonna leave that there. I think you get the point. If I do my part by covering all of my bases and you're still fucking up, and I did everything that I could as a leader, okay, then we cut ties. That's different. But if there's still shit that I like, stones unturned, things that I could have did better or things that I can be doing better, I can't blame you for not knowing or messing up in certain areas if I'm not coaching you, if I'm not guiding you as a leader, if I didn't train you on that. Yeah, I've had plenty of employees say and do dumb shit, 1000%, and then they play the blame game, and I'm like, dude, look, the only way you're gonna grow is if you take accountability for what happened. I take accountability because we never had a conversation about this, or maybe we didn't train, I didn't do my part, or I didn't do my part. And that's why we're having this conversation now. But right now, I need you to have accountability to yourself, because the thing is, if you have no accountability, then you think you're not the problem, or you're not part of the problem. I'm not saying that you're the problem, but you're not part of the problem. I have drivers, right? If for whatever reason you get into an accident, I can coach you on safety training. I can coach you on how to be better, be more cautious, be more careful, right? Or how to handle certain situations. But if you as a driver don't take accountability, like, oh, it was the snow, it was the rain, it was this, it was that, how can I tell you how to move forward next time? Because if you're blaming your situation or whatever happened on external circumstances, you're no longer coachable, and you're playing the victim at that point. Oh, it was raining, so I got into an accident. I spun out. So why didn't you go slower? You were driving. You were in the vehicle. You want to lose your life? Right. Take accountability. It's things like that. So, as a leader, you're going to deal with many people. Your wife, kids. And they got to see how you handle accountability when you fuck up. When I fuck up, I'm the first person to be like, I fucked up. My bad, dog. Like, my bad. But never be the person that's like, yeah, you fucked up. There's moments where it's gonna be like that. You fucked up. 1000%, you fucked up. But at the same time too, that's not as common as you think. A lot of times, like, if people pay attention to how they operate themselves, take the log out of your own eye before you go and critique somebody else. That's accountability. That's what that is. So yeah, this is running longer than I thought. I forgot where I was going, with the basis of the video. But don't numb your pain. Use it. Let it transform you. Let it guide you into the next area of your life. Create these quantum leaps of growth in your life, and let it transform you. Let God transform your life. Renew your mind. Use the pain for fuel. You will thank yourself later. Do the hard things now, so life can be easier later. If you don't do the hard things now, you do the easier things, life will be harder later.